And, Daniel Held, he brings up a good point here. He says, I wish I could buy milk with Bitcoin at the store, but here's the thing, and this is my thought, CJ. I look at Bitcoin as a store of value, not necessarily to transact with Bitcoin. I feel like I hope one day I can transact with XRP or XLM, like something that's made for transactions. What are your thoughts about actually transacting with Bitcoin? Do you think that that'll be a normal everyday thing, or think more of a store of value?
Well, the first thing is that the store of value market is a 400 trillion, maybe by the time this actually takes place, over a quadrillion size market. So we're talking about, 900 trillion plus dollar marketplace for store of value. And now when you talk about medium of exchange, that we're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar marketplace. So still a very large marketplace, but two different things, store of value versus medium of exchange. And yeah, he makes a great point. Why can't I spend my Bitcoin? Well, here's the thing. Why would you sell your Microsoft shares when they're still working in the garage, right? Imagine all those guys who were working in the garage said, oh man, this is great. I own 5% of this company. Hey, you know what? I'm worth $1 million. I'm going to take my $1 million. He takes his $1 million. But when Microsoft becomes the behemoth that it is, he'd be on the Forbes top 100 list. Right. But he decided to take. That's why you don't want to use your Bitcoin. Yes, in the long term, Bitcoin is a medium of exchange, and there's going to be layer 2 solutions like Lightning and even Stacks and Fedimints and a whole bunch of different solutions that increase the monetary velocity of Bitcoin, allow Bitcoin to change hands at a much quicker pace than what it does right now with 10-minute block times. And when you're crowded waiting 30, 40 minutes for a transaction to go through, you can't use it for that. But it's like, again, selling that stock before it becomes what we know it is. And that kind of ties into a lot of what I do on Twitter with my cost structure analysis. Bitcoin is trading at the commodity price right now. It's not trading at its monetary price. So I'll spend my Bitcoin when it's trading at its monetary price, because that's when I'm getting its real value. When I'm trading at commodity price, because I'm at the bottom of the S curve of adoption, I don't want to spend my Bitcoin. I want to save it. And also the other thing is, a lot of people say, well, how do you lend out your Bitcoin and make money? That's fiat maxi mindset. You don't lend your Bitcoin out to make money. That's why all those companies failed.
It's yours.
You borrow against your Bitcoin to make money. Bitcoin has a 60% CAGR. So now you got your 100% in savings. You know what? I want to make a trade. Here's an idea. How much is that trade going to yield? What's your chart say? 10, 15%? Borrow against your Bitcoin to make that trade. Why sell your Bitcoin? Borrow against it, make the trade. If you win or lose, you have to use your cash flow from your real world to close the liability if you lose. But if you win, you can close the liability and keep the profits. And you're all back in Bitcoin. You're building your stack. That's the real way to do it. Borrow against your Bitcoin to take those risks and let go of these fiat mindsets of, oh, I have to lend out my Bitcoin. I have to lend out my dollars. No, you have to be 100% allocated to Bitcoin. Then you have to be empowered to borrow from your Bitcoin to take your risks. And then what you do with those profits, you do. But I would put them back into Bitcoin to grow your asset side of your personal balance sheet. And that eventually will allow you to take a larger liability when you have another opportunity that comes up. These are just tips and tricks I've learned through my decade of being involved in crypto.